look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a tear for my brother. I really wanna try for my brother.
Yo!
Cause I truly do feel
What it is. We'll see if they mute me this time. Fuck you, Zoom. No, Zoom? I don't know why I said it that way.
Zoom.
What's going on? Welcome back to another. We're back from break. Unlike Tom Segura's arm. Back from the Christmas New Year's break. InforMILLy podcast, back in your eardrum, as Talib Kweli would say.
Now they were recording. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the real shit.
My man is drinking a beer at 10:30 in the morning.
It's 11 over here, baby. We East Coast. It's 11 over here.
Got that malt liquor.
Sounds good.
Yo,
Welcome to 2021.
Welcome to 2021, or as it's actually considered. What is this? December 40th, 2020. Because the bullshit continues, and so
as it always.
We really recognize this as a new Gregorian year.
This time.
But just in case it's your first time on
Who the hell is Gregory?
I assume he's Constantine's cousin. Just another pink dude trying to rewrite history.
He's a
but yo, in case it's your first time, you just tuning in on season 2 of the InforMILLy Honest podcast. We have 4 brothers from the city of Gary, Indiana. More specifically, the neighborhood of Miller Beach, where we come together once a week to converse, laugh, challenge, and all of that bullshit. As we bullshit, but we pride ourselves on most of all conversing and connecting and figuring out this thing called life through three principles: being forthright, being vulnerable, and most of all, being honest. First of all, fellas, welcome back. How the fuck are you?
Spectacular.
Close to stupendous.
Come on, Dre.
S word.
And Farnsworth Bentley.
How are you only using S words?
Yeah.
It's tough. I am salty. That's what I am.
I am stupefied.
Okay.
I won't even say that. I am parentheses unsurprised. Before so to get started, we let's hop into the shit. On January 6th, 2021, Anglo-Saxons of America did some wild shit. They stormed the capital of the US of A with no plan in mind.
They put on their best furs and horned hats.
They got on their Peter Parker and they scaled some walls, proving that walls don't do anything, which goes against their brand. And I gotta ask a question. Put forth.
Some of them didn't make it up that wall.
Yeah.
After around, I think they said somewhere around a couple thousand people stormed the Capitol, sat on the hill with, I think they said 4 casualties. Only really heard about 1, but I think I saw the number was 4. I gotta ask this question put forth by Talcum X, aka Sean King. Yeah, no, I said casualty.
I thought you said a hurt one.
No, she got sniped in the neck like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I gotta ask this question, and I'm gonna put my phone to the screen, but Adam's gonna put up the picture. This young gentleman, the glare is too strong. Never mind. But according to Talcum X, aka Sean King, Adam Johnson has been arrested for his acts committed at the Capitol. How are you here with us, sir?
That's so funny. So weird saying my name in the news for that.
Like, yo, I didn't know you were a Trump supporter, man. I could have sworn this whole time you were against this. You were undercover agent. I feel deceived. Explain yourself.
A reverse Clayton business.
Reverse Clayton.
Man, it's so crazy because like it's funny because like a lot of people, like there's people that know my name is Adam Johnson, but then there's people that don't realize that because my name on Facebook just says Adam David. It's my internet.
Right.
So there's people that actually don't know that that's my last name. It was just kind of funny. When I brought that up, I'm sure people are like, what? But no, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean that name is super common. I've actually met someone in my life that name was Adam Johnson. Like actually another person. Like the heck.
I wonder how often that happens, man. Where you meet somebody with the same name,
First last name.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got a bad common name,
yeah.
I'm just kidding. Like I wonder, like
it's probably still
average,
rare
you know?
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think I would meet another Joshua Ishman. Granted, it's Ishman, but in the same city.
Damn. Okay.
You know, because you know, Felly and Ramon got an older brother named Josh, and so you know, shout out to them, the Ishmans, Marcus's cousins.
Shout out.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
But yeah, so what are your feelings on this, gentleman? On this heinous act of treason toward the U.S. government that I'm not defending, but yeah.
I feel like I'm not gonna say anything that hasn't been said or anything that no one feels, but it's just kind of crazy that I mean I guess you just the most obvious thing is more so is you could just compare it to the Black Lives Matter protests over the summer and how people were getting beat and pepper sprayed and you know shot with the
rubber bullets.
Yeah, the rubber bullets, which that sounds like it's not that big of a deal, or like oh, it's just a rubber bullet.
Yes, it is.
But when it's flying at you at I don't know
bullet speed,
1,400 feet per second, and it's like as big as almost a tennis ball. I mean that's gonna hurt.
Oh yeah,
it's like getting hit with a Randy Johnson pitch, but like twice the speed.
Yeah, dude.
But just to make my point, it's just crazy. Like you would think that the most secure towns or districts, whatever you want to call it, in the country would be able to. And I get, you know, their excuse was, you know, they were overrun, which I guess I could see that. But it's like this: if you have a building full of, in quotations, important people, like you know the Senate people, and they're all in there, and they're supposed to be like our leaders, I guess you could say. I mean, I'm saying that loosely, but I mean they have a position of power. Let's just say that.
Yeah. And don't they each have Secret Service with them? Don't they each individual? No. That's just presidents and
vice president. Yeah, just to hire people.
Yeah, people part of the executive branch usually have some that like people in Congress can hire detail and whatnot, but it's not like
Yeah.
Okay.
But regardless, like the Capitol building, you would just think it was like, all right, if something happens, it's us or them. Like it's not gonna be like, and if that means it's just all out battle, and it's gonna be all out battle, but you can't just let people in, because what happens if these people were armed? Well, some people were armed.
Yes.
What happens? Yeah. So what happens if these people had like legitimate ill intention? What if somebody set a fire in there? What if somebody? So apparently they found pipe bombs. What if people activated these? Like that situation could have been a lot worse than it was. It was still the most bizarre thing I've seen, but I'm just imagining if these people were like, we're coming in here like shooting people and setting stuff on fire, like, you know, the Capitol building could be a pile of ashes right now. I mean, if people were really about, you know, some craziness.
They're really about that life, yeah.
So it's just like, you would think that they're like, no, we don't care. We about to just start shooting y'all. And if it turns into a bloodbath, then you would think that's what will happen. But I guess that's not what happened.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely spared a lot of people's lives that day because either they weren't prepared, which I find it hard to believe,
Yeah.
or they just kind of let them do that.
Yeah.
They didn't have a goal.
Yeah. It was a spur of the moment thing because Donald Trump was like,
And
you go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
No,
No,
I'll just say real quick because Donald Trump was down the street.
First
apparently.
episode we got.
apparently Donald Trump was down the street having a rally with these people, and he was
Yes.
talking about, he was like, you got to march down to the Capitol, he essentially told them to go down to the Capitol building and take it by force. So they're like, okay, let's do it, and they did it. So it's like, I mean,
But what was your goal?
and exactly, it's like
because you're
That's
like, we're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution and all this kind of shit. And I'm like, is it?
That's why I'm not total. I'm like, it's gonna sound crazy, but I'm not totally against the action of it. But what is a time and place for a revolution, and
But that's not a revolution. It's not even a protest.
we may be very close to needing that, but that's not it. That's not the, who we wanted or the cause we wanted that for. Like, that's the opposite of what we wanted that for. So,
but I'm saying if you're quote unquote storming the Capitol, which part of me is like, are you really storming it if you're just breaking windows and then a section of you are just let in and escorted out, like safely down the stairs? That's not really storming a Capitol. But that part put aside,
they can't help that it wasn't no resistance.
That's true.
But the other side of that is like, you did it to delay.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like,
the vote.
It was nothing there. It was nothing. It was everything was. It was no injustice being done at this point. So what are you doing?
Well, in their minds there was, because
right
in their mind, because at the time, the what is it, Senate? I don't know who
the
does
Georgia.
what.
You talking about the Georgia results?
No, the electoral vote for Biden and Kamala.
So they were officially confirming.
Yeah,
I guess for like the 30th time that this dude won. But
no, because they had to do votes in Georgia. That's why.
That's for Congress though. That ain't had to do with the president.
But they did they did do some revotes in Georgia for the presidency. For the presidency as well.
Yeah, that's what ended.
Certain counties.
That's what made it official.
And like Fulton County, for some reason, like Fulton County, like Atlanta, always takes forever. I don't know why I've heard that.
Probably most people. I mean, that would be my
probably,
guess.
Probably.
But I mean, regardless, in their minds, they thought that they were gonna come in there and because Donald Trump told them like they need to take their take their country back or take something back.
Do y'all think they really believe in that cause, or they just
absolutely
they're trying to?
It's probably a mix of people.
You think all of them really feel like there's an injustice going on their way, or they just being hyped up?
I think some of them are just getting hyped up and they just doing it. Some of them are just following other people, I think.
Sure, I'm not saying every Trump supporter is on that, because we're seeing the surgence of a lot of motherfuckers who are how should I say, who are trying to condemn it now as if people hadn't been saying this shit the whole time. Hadn't been saying that these inflammatory remarks, these irresponsible ass speeches at these rallies and whatnot are not creating insurrection. And then a quote unquote insurrection happens and they all go, this is not this is not my America. This is not how we do this. And like, this is the shit we've been telling you is the problem the whole time.
I just think that make it sound innocent to me. Like, I think that they know in their minds that this is dumb shit. And
they are dumb though. I'm sorry to cut you off.
I'm saying, all of them not dumb. Some of them just really want the fuck shit. Is definitely that. Like take Donald Trump. Do y'all really think in his heart that he feel like he in the right, or he just wants his way? Like, it's people who just want their way. Like, just straight like that. Like,
I think he's an egomaniac who thinks nothing. I think he has had so few consequences to his actions and words and thoughts in so much of his life. He has no bearing for them, regardless of whether or not they directly happen to him.
I just don't.
Consequences is not a thing that he cares about.
I think he speaks childishly, and he's not advanced in that aspect. But I don't think he's dumb. I think he's very smart, actually. I think the way he communicates is elementary, but you don't get that far from being dumb.
I mean, I don't think
Well, I
he's.
guess it did.
You go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say you can make smart. Well, I mean, even that's been criticized, but like you can make smart decisions and not necessarily. I mean, I guess dumb depending on what, like book smart, street smart, like what are we talking about here? Because you can make wise decisions that work in the moment, that business wise.
I don't think he's morally. He has a
you.
moral. I don't think he has a great moral compass. But besides that, I mean, he knows, for one, this is all you really need to do to be powerful is know how to be a good speaker and know how to gain a little bit of power.
How to move
That's
people
all.
like Hitler did. Like Hitler moved.
Yeah.
He was the smartest dude in the world, and he moved the fucking nation of people.
I think
no matter how you can,
but it also was a reflection of them, though.
But if it
it's
works,
also a reflection of them. You gotta wonder, like, who the fuck are these people who are the people who Hitler moved? You gotta like think about them. Like, what the fuck were they on?
You can never underestimate
fear too, though. Fear was a lot of it.
They look and act very like they're dumb and primal, and you know what, this has no real meaning behind it. But the meaning is just to hold on to power. Is
Sure.
just that.
But even if it is on some QAnon bullshit, if you really think motherfuckers are out here with that the country is run by pedophiles who are sucking the life juice out of unborn babies,
I don't think
but I'm saying, if you really think it's that, what did what happened at the Capitol have to do with that? What did you solve? Nothing.
I think to go back to like Donald Trump being stupid, and like I don't think he's stupid as in he doesn't know
what he's doing, yeah.
Like basic life skills or anything, but I think he's such a narcissist that he believes that whatever he says and does is correct. So like you were saying, like you don't got to be that smart to make a bunch of money, especially when somebody handed you a bunch of money to begin with. Like if Donald Trump if he grew up like just in a regular family, he wouldn't be a billionaire right now. In fact, a lot of business people in that world say that based on his upbringing, in theory, he should be worth way more than he is. But because he's had so many failed businesses, it's like he's kind of gotten where he is purely based off of just
persistence,
just being in that life for so long. But I think, again, I just think he's such a narcissist that whatever he says, he truly believes it to be true, and he doesn't care about the concept. Like me and Kirsten talk about this all the time, like the difference between narcissism and people that are psychopaths, and like and sociopaths, psychopaths, like those people, they know they're doing wrong, so they'll try to mimic being right. They'll try to be charming and loving. Donald Trump isn't trying to be liked only by the people that believes in what he says. So he's not trying to sugarcoat it. He's just putting things out there in the way that he sees it. And if you like it, great. If you don't, that's fine. If he was like a psychopath, he would try to come up there like, I'm not saying that Obama is a psychopath necessarily, but he would try to be like smooth with it and try to like, and just try to like be charming and stuff. But he doesn't try to be charming. He's just like, this is what's right. And then I guess all of these people that feel the same way, which is a lot of people, I don't know. I can't even figure out the point I'm making. I'm just talking at this point.
Nah,
But,
nah, I know what you're saying. Like to some degree, I like a little bit of that. I like a little bit of like less word. Like, but it's unfortunate when you're the president. Like this is like the thing. It seems to be him missing is like you gotta if you coming in with you acting like you got so much clarity on shit and you know right and wrong and you know that you're right in all the decisions you
The
make.
only
You
bad
gotta
thing
be
is
able to
the intent.
you gotta be able to you gotta be able to have that
What is your
clarity to
intent?
see when your shit is not working and when you're not right, when it's harming people. That's the clarity that it seems like he's either lacking or doesn't even give a shit about.
We could use a Donald Trump on the good side. Is if the thing is like it's
No,
all
I agree.
all
That's what I'm
about
saying.
intent. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that is all about intent, man. Like if this was a good dude, then we wouldn't have a problem with him.
Intent, but I also feel like it only gets you so far. And you know what I'm saying? You still gonna hurt. You still can have
Yeah,
good intentions to hurt
you
people
can.
without knowing. You just
Of
got to be able to
course,
recognize it and acknowledge. He don't be acknowledging that shit.
yeah,
Acknowledge on in front of the world that you harm people. You didn't maybe even if you didn't mean to, you fucked up.
and like the crazy thing is, he actually is stupid because I'm thinking of it like,
Yeah.
after all of that, before he got suspended indefinitely and permanently, he went on Twitter and told the people to come back to the Capitol. I'm like, but he said, but he was like, but be like peaceful. Like, what makes you think if the same people come back, what makes you think they're gonna be peaceful? Like,
the fact
it's like,
is he doesn't care about them either.
no,
You know,
exactly.
but that doesn't make him stupid. That just makes him
A
not
fucking sociopath.
giving a you know. He doesn't care. He knows how to control people, and he will do it.
Another thing we have to consider though is he has a team of people. Like he has advisors, and I'm not saying he listens to them all the time.
Yeah, he obviously don't listen to them.
But like, but he does have people that like for example, someone might ask, how does someone like this, in my opinion, how does someone so stupid become so rich? Well, if you surround yourself around people that aren't stupid, around good lawyers that can get you out of trouble and kind of make these decisions for you, all you got to do is sign your name.
Even that,
like
lawyers gonna always extort you. We seen this.
Oh yeah, of course.
People who got small businesses, it happened to them. Like it's just like. So I disagree that he's stupid. I just think that he's using his powers for evil. Basically.
I'm trying to think of a better.
Yeah. So what we do know is that he's not Captain Planet. That we know.
He comes off very stupid.
Go ahead. Yes, I can't agree that he isn't stupid, but I don't because I think to be whatever dimension of charismatic that he is, and to be this much of a narcissistic sociopath, to be so irresponsible with that much power.
But he doesn't care. That's the thing I think y'all missing is like we are good.
I realize that.
What I'm saying is like we are good-hearted people, right? We're not gonna be able to truly understand. I mean, like for the most part, I mean, we're not all like goody two shoes or whatever, but I think that we're not gonna be able to understand like his mind. Like,
yeah, I've tried for years. I can't figure it out.
Yo, to slightly veer us off, and we because I don't want to spend the whole recording on either of these things. Stupid sayings, goody two shoes. Are we saying that people who can't afford both shoes are inherently bad people?
Goody two. Yeah, that's kind of a low bar, right? Look at this guy with two good shoes.
It's like, yo, he must be an upstanding citizen. He's got two shoes.
He thinks he's better than everybody. He got matching shoes.
What group of impoverished people made this saying?
And you think that got something to do with the two? What is it? What's the saying about two left feet? Like you can't dance. Like
I can't dance because I got two left feet.
It's something with the devil, ain't it? I don't know.
Oh, I don't even know that.
Dancing
Oh,
with
word. I didn't even. Yeah.
Dancing with the Devil is.
But you got 2 left feet or so. I don't know.
I've heard all 3 of those phrases, but I don't.
Yeah,
think
maybe I'm just converging them, trying to make an ultimate phrase.
Try. Now I'm sure there's a bunch of other silly ass.
It's like, can you think of any other like statements that don't necessarily make like?
And they might not make sense, but they also just like might get used wrong. Like we've been using them one way, but they were like originally meant to be used a certain way.
Yeah, a lot of people say, say the phrases the wrong way, and it's like,
yeah,
you just, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah,
for the longest time I used to say
that shit crazy. I'm never understood that one.
Oh, batshit crazy.
Like that, yeah. Like
because
that's just why I don't even know how to dive into that. I don't get it. That's pretty much.
I mean, have you ever seen a batshit? It is they just flail about. No.
I think they what you call it, their shit basically is it carries like diseases often, so then it's probably get rabies or something.
I mean, let's we'll come back to this,
like the coronavirus.
Yeah.
The whole like
Contagion, the movie.
It's
yeah.
It's easy for virus to be carried through bats. I believe that's a fact. Like pigs,
right. I can't help but think of we talking about bad shit. Of thinking about the hilariously racist movie Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, because it surrounded guano, aka
guano. That's the word I was looking for. You should have brought that in when
I was trying.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's all
you should have said stop. I got that.
Guano.
I got that word.
But yeah, phrases I used to say wrong. I used to say the vein of my existence as opposed to the bane of my existence.
Oh, that's hilarious, yo. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Taking it for granted.
I'm sorry, bro. That deserves one more laugh.
Wait, if they're taking it for granted, what is it?
Taking it for granted.
As opposed to what?
Taking it for granted.
Well, I know they weren't taking it for like stone or anything.
I don't think I ever heard nobody say that.
Taking it for marble, yeah.
Or to save money, concrete.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good business. That's a good business.
Depending on what neighborhood you grow up in, you use that word wrong anyway.
Right.
Well, here's one: nip it in the butt versus nip it in the bud.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's be nibbling.
Yeah, I think like that's probably like number one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
yeah,
I've always knew it was butt.
I hear a lot of people say nip it in the butt.
Some of this be like you don't know if they're saying it wrong or it's just like dialect or just the way people speak in that area.
I think sometimes like that wrong way will become the new like the standard or whatever for it.
Because no one really corrects you. Rarely do you get corrected in the act of saying it, like in person, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody understands what you're saying, you know?
But also people be like afraid to correct people sometimes when you know you hear that wrong thing.
Yeah. And you see some you see that you see that gleam in somebody's eye when they recognize you done fucked up.
Sometimes
yeah.
Literally
depends on who I'm talking to, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember when bane of my existence was corrected. I was working in New York and I had to go from Brooklyn to Harlem, and to get from my train at whatever bumblefuck of night it was like this 72-step staircase that I had to walk up every time.
From the Joker?
And it actually, no, that's in the Bronx. But
Bane, Joker, I see where the story is.
Hey.
Batman.
But I took a picture of it, put that shit on Instagram. I was like, this staircase is the vein of my existence. And Dan told me was like, you mean Bane? And I was like, shit. That is like
on social media. I might have to delete that comment, bro. I might have to delete that comment. You ain't about to bust me out in front of everybody.
You'll never forget. I'll never forget the day.
Damn, dude,
Yeah,
that's hilarious, but crazy, man.
I know.
All right,
I
here's
don't
the
think I
one.
ever used that one. I don't think I ever used that.
Here's one that gets fucked up a lot. I feel like I could care less versus I couldn't care less.
Oh yeah,
that's the one. Because like, yeah, for me, like because when you really think about the statement, it makes perfect sense that it's could not. Because if you say,
it seemed like it makes sense either way though.
I thought so originally, but
because like okay,
so let's dive into it.
So all right, let's examine both of them.
Okay, hold up. Let me really quick read. Should I read their description of why it's wrong and blah blah blah, and then we can.
No.
I just want to let us
okay
dissect this. So what's the first one? I
could care less.
Meaning there's room for you
to care less,
to not care even more, right?
No.
Yes.
I can also care less.
No, I thought it was like you're more so saying I could care less, meaning you haven't cared at the smallest amount you can care, which means it's not that bad because you're saying that you can actually care less.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying.
So the issue is that's not how people mean it.
But that's what I'm saying. It could be kind of used both ways. Kind of.
No, it can't.
Okay. What's your case? Why can't
it? Because if I tell somebody like if somebody tells me some shit that somebody tells me what the fuck Kim Kardashian ate this morning, I'm gonna say I cannot care less about the shit that you're trying to tell me.
Got you.
So your absolute
lowest of caring.
It's literally at the whatever the opposite of apex is. It's that. How much I care. But what if I say like, I could care less? It was like, oh man, I could care less. It was like, actually, I care a little bit, but there's still room for me to care less about this thing that you're telling me. Like, no, I can't care less about it.
So if you're the recipient, if you're the person,
right? Okay.
Yes. So if you're the person who's getting told this, you still should. So you still should be slightly offended. The person still doesn't give a shit about you, but one means they have room to not give more shits about you.
I think that's why the phrase "zero fucks given" has pretty much taken over that.
Yeah.
Yes. There's no.
I don't know. I feel like that's different context.
You can't go any further, I guess. Because you didn't begin to have.
How is it not the same?
Given?
Care less and fucks given.
Give a fuck less. But I always feel like zero fucks given has to do more about those people's feelings than the information being said itself.
I don't know. I think it goes hand in hand.
I think it could. But no other time people be like zero fucks given is because some shit happened and people want them to feel bad about it, and you're like, but I don't give a fuck.
Oh, you're talking about in the context of how it is commonly used.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you were saying like it replaces that, and I'm like, I think people are saying that more toward feelings.
I think in its most, if you just say it like and take it for
objectively,
I think it can be. But
all right. Here's one.
It's neither.
Did you Google this? Do you have a list?
It's neither.
I am currently scrolling down. I am scrolling up.
I'll put up one too.
So here's one. A good one. One in the same versus one and the same.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
One in the same versus one and the same.
Which one's right?
Oh, right. And
wouldn't it be one and the same?
A and D, yeah.
Wouldn't it be in the same?
Yeah, A and D.
I think so. I mean, that's what makes
because
sense.
You're comparing.
Makes sense to me.
You're not saying it's inside. You're saying it's
one and
comparing.
It's you're saying the same thing twice almost, but you're like making it very clear.
But at the same time, who the fuck really says and?
One and
I don't know if I've heard anybody say one and the same.
No, not even in that statement. Just
you talking about pronouncing the D. Nobody.
In regular conversation, who the fuck says and?
Yeah, nobody does.
No one says this whole word
unless you're saying like me and even then,
like me
unless
and
you're I
might start off a sentence and actually and
But you're not
Yeah.
saying
But did you say the
and.
D? Did you say and?
I did.
And people just hear the D.
I
The
think
D
I
is
have,
silent, man. The D is
I
silent.
think I've said and a couple times, like when I was in like giving a presentation or a speech in front of a
Oh,
class,
yeah, well,
just
that's-
because they
that's-
were like,
because it
"Man."
feels formal.
That's much.
And then I
different.
also was like, yo, somebody finna, yo, this is fucking literature or something. Somebody's about to call me out. I know, you know what I'm saying?
Yo,
Right. If I'm making an audio book, I'm gonna say and.
Exactly.
look here.
I mean,
Much
if
like
Another
Go ahead,
scholarly,
Marcus.
if it's scholarly, I'm gonna say and.
man, fuck,
Yeah,
much like
it's about to sit in front of a board.
much like coital situations, fuck that D.
hey, hold on real quick, because this reminded me of the whole sitting in the dick thing that you did in the last season. I literally had that shit. I had that when the pit sits in the dick. I'm sorry, let me clear it up for everybody who's just starting out in season 2.
Tell the whole story.
Yeah. So if we go back now, I literally had that shit 2 days ago. I was about to text the group, yo. I was like, this is some bullshit. Please, man. And I had to just sit there with this shit, like, and I just start patting my long underwear against my thigh as it was like running down. Like, damn. That's what I can fucking do.
It's an
Bro.
embarrassment that men go through every day. God damn it! So there's a man somewhere who had to go through this. He doesn't feel good about it.
Yeah, man. I had to say that really quick. All right.
I had a point. I've got it.
I'm sorry. This is a
Adam,
silly
you
one. I
said
don't
you-
even know. Yeah, go ahead, Adam.
Oh, I just got a list too, to be honest with you. But I guess one that resonates with myself would be crap. Oh yeah, supposedly versus supposedly versus supposedly.
I've never heard nobody say supposed.
Who said
I've never
supposedly?
heard supposedly.
Okay, I think I might have said it, to be honest with you, but I think I used to say supposedly, but then like over time I just like, okay, that's, and it's like I know it's not right because when you spell it out, there's no B, but it's just,
Right. I know I've never heard you say that because I can't help but think I would be such a dick about it. Like, wait, did you say supposedly?
Yeah.
Oh, now that you know what? I think I might.
I've never
heard that a
heard
few
that in my
times.
life.
Supposedly, yeah.
Look, man, as long as you
When I
call
think
us
about
out
it,
before
yeah.
we hit record, like it's all good.
Supposedly.
All right, here's one that I hear often:
Mhm.
on accident versus by accident.
Oh yeah, that's real. Nah,
Oh.
fuck that. That's real.
I feel like they both.
I don't think
are
there's nothing
interchangeable. They're
wrong.
interchangeable.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
Can you use it
Nah.
in a sentence?
I did that
Like, spelling bee style. So I feel like I could use them both, and it makes sense to me.
That might be some Midwest shit, but I'm just like, oh man, on accident, I hit him on accident. Like,
Yeah. It's
I
not
know
bad.
by accident technically probably it's grammatically correct,
Yeah.
but on accident, yeah, sure.
Like
It's
when we
easy
get
to
those
say.
WhatsApp calls randomly, and Josh be like, "Oh my bad, by accident." I'm like, "Yo, he really wants to holler at me." Cool. And I answer that shit like, "What up, dog?" And Josh pauses. "Yo, this was a mistake." My bad. I'm like, "Hello to you too, motherfucker."
It was a mistake. Man.
I was about to tell you how my day is going and shit, bro.
That's funny.
All right, here's one. Here's one that you hear often. For real this time. You hear this often, all right?
Better be a good
Statute. Yeah. Statute of limitations versus statute of limitations.
Yeah. I mean, I
Statute.
can't say
I
I
feel like-
probably never said that term in my life.
Statute.
Yeah,
But
I hear people say statue all the fucking time.
Oh yeah.
because who's got time for that second T?
I feel you. I agree. I've said it too. I'm like-
Statute limit. Yeah, I don't say the second T.
Me either. I say clay mode of limitations. And I definitely
Clay
don't
mode?
say. No, I'm just
I've
saying
never said that word in my life.
Statue, you know.
Clay mold.
I got it. Carving.
It's before before it hits the kiln, dog.
Yo, do you have a favorite word?
Man.
That's a good question.
That's a very good question. And I got
Or
one after
even-
this one.
Or even on some shit. What's his name? Peter Lipton, the guy who used to host.
Bro, I love
make
that
the
shit.
tea?
Inside the actor studio. Man,
Does he make
love
the
that
tea?
shit.
We made this joke already. Is that his name, Peter Lipton? He used to ask, "What's your favorite cuss word?"
Very true.
So both. Do you have a favorite word? Do you have a favorite cuss word?
Before anybody answers that, let's find that very interesting. Because I was just watching that show on Netflix, The History of Swear Words with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
It's not that great or anything. It's it's what I was expecting. I just watched it like 2 days ago. So, but anyway,
it's Nicolas Cage. I don't expect it to be good.
Yeah. Well, he's honestly
okay, but
barely. He's just a host, so he's kind of barely in it. He kind of just does like the intro and the outro. But
I'm so sad and disappointed with his like career situations, yo. I want him to like. It was so promising. I want to still like Nicolas Cage, bro. My gosh, what's the movie? Wild and I forgot what the movie is called. Wild and it's that one. Is another one he was with. A Velvet Dress, Velvet. I have to look him up. There was some like good movies that I genuinely liked back in the day, and I was liking what the direction was. And then he put out he did Face Off with John Travolta. I think that was Face Off, which is great. And then he did the motherfucking, and then Marvel or whoever got, I don't know, maybe it's not Marvel, got into his mind, and he did the motherfucking Ghost Rider shit. And I said, it was all downhill from there. Bro, come on. Come on. I want better for you. Why don't you want better for you? No. Yeah.
I think, and we can get to the question, but I think what happened with him is he thought that he was like this action star. And he's like, that's not your lane. But he wanted to be an action star so bad. It's like, that's not.
Yeah, I think he needed a better manager.
Yeah.
He just basically took every movie.
Yeah.
Yo, Adam, I do need you to look up both of those movies for me so I don't sound like a damn fool. They exist. Clarify the proper.
Face Off is
Face Off, but like the Blue Velvet, there's one, I think it was directed by David Lynch. Can't remember, but and then there's the other one. Oh yeah, he's the homie, bro. He's the homie. And then Wild and Free or something. There's something like that, or Young and Wilder.
I felt like that sounds familiar, actually.
Just clarify for people. So I'll
Con Air, man.
Con Air, true, bro.
Though David Lynch directed both Wild at Heart and Blue Velvet, Nicolas Cage only starred in Wild at Heart.
But all right, but for the words though, I'm sure I have words that I like, but I don't know if and I know there's words that I would like to use, but I just never do.
I always, when I hear a word that I like, I say like, man, I love that word, but I don't remember them. I don't remember
like any of them. You don't remember one? Or just a word you like it just feels good to you.
The one word that I can think of that I can like, I can't even say it correctly. The word aura, like aura.
Yeah,
I can't even say
it. Aura.
I can't even say it correctly, but I like that word. And I feel like I feel like the word is one of those words that match what it means. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I feel like the word is perfect for what it actually means. Yeah.
I do. I actually used that word yesterday. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's not surprising at all.
I like I was hey man for everybody. I like dichotomy, man. I like the word dichotomy.
Dichotomy,
yeah.
That's a good one, bro. That's a good
Indubitably.
I use that, yeah, that's a good one. That shit's solid. Indubitably so.
Not to be narcissistic, but my Instagram name is my favorite word just because it's so absurd, and especially in this meeting.
I'm gonna need you to pronounce that for me, bro.
So I'm gonna say the whole word, but I conjugated it for the Instagram. But floximousing the hillipilification. It just feels good to say. It's just floximousing the hillipilification. It's just
my word is super Cali.
Fragilistic.
I used to know how to say it back when I was watching Mary Poppins.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
What's that word that Reeves always say? Anthropomorphism.
He had a lot of keywords. He used to say paradigm. That's a good word.
Paradigm is nice.
Paradigm is a really good word. Man.
Precocious. He used to use that word all the time.
I just used anthropomorphize like in an argument the other day. We were talking about
tenacity.
That is a great thing to have in your arsenal, son.
Yo,
a great thing.
It's a literary device that's commonly used.
Because we were talking about the false,
I like that.
the false bit of like
I like the way you phrase that.
I can't even think of the word, but did y'all watch Soul?
This is a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Soul and plan on watching it, please skip to the 1 hour, 7 minute, and 45 second mark.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, I just saw it last night.
It's great.
I didn't see it.
Tell me your feelings.
My feelings is I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, man.
I
mean, I know that you did it. You love it, shit. I almost feel bad for saying I enjoyed it. I'm looking at his face like, damn, what should I say? How should I go? How should I go about this? What would be most pleasing for you, Josh? Do I have free will to speak? Can I speak freely, or can I?
Of course.
His piano skills is trash.
I genuinely want to know because I have mixed feelings. But yeah, Marcus, you were saying, I'm sorry.
No, I was making a joke. I should say his piano skills is trash. It was. I actually gotta see it again because I was kind of doing something else. I like kind of going back and forth, but it was. I didn't know where it was going at first because I thought they were about to try to explain afterlife in their own way, but it turned out that wasn't really what it was about. So it was all right. I mean, it's a Disney movie.
Disney Pixar situation.
I like in movies when like somebody switches, when somebody sees things differently. When somebody like when they live their life a certain way, they have an experience and then they switch their perspective and allows them to see things a little differently. I like that. Like that typically moves me. Whatever, whether it's like Disney or live action or whatever.
The one thing that kind of annoyed me was the fact that he was a middle-aged man, and it took him that long for him to explain to his mom his passion and how that works. And
I did like that scene, man.
I was just like, I liked the scene, but I was just like, you never, like all of the times that you talk to your mom, she never got it in that way. And I couldn't figure out if he had got his body back yet, because at the moment she was kind of speaking for him, but in that particular scene, it seemed like it was coming from his direct perspective. So that kind of confused me a little bit.
Which it was because, he was telling 22 what to say.
Yeah, but if you see that scene again, like the 22 has stopped pretty much in the voice change also. Just I'm sure for the sake of the scene for it to make sense. But it didn't seem like she was in control anymore. Like when you speaking from your perspective, it's passion and that's
what it felt like. Yeah.
Right. And it was that kind of confused me a little bit. But that's technical. So I mean,
yeah, I feel you. I think what it might have also been was they took it out of our perspective and put it from the mom's. So she's still hearing him.
Yeah.
True.
That's true. Yeah. But the part about that was like, Mom, you really, in all of these years, he's been having this, like he's middle aged. By now, you should get the fact that this is what I'm gonna do. Like, But
there's a lot of moms that's not like that.
But I know, but it took 22 to, you know what I'm saying, kind of push him to that, or for her to finally, you know, realize that, and after it seemed like it happened all in an instant, like, oh, okay, now, okay, here's the suit, I support you now, you know.
Yeah, I feel
in real life it's kind of a, okay, I kind of support you, okay, now I get it, okay, not like, okay, I'm giving you this gift now, like, go out there, get him, you know.
It seemed like also, man, he didn't, it seemed to me like he never really told it to her like that. So he was like afraid to tell her exactly how he felt for all those years.
Because there's this thing that usually kind of happens, especially with little black boys. When you're primarily raised by your mother, even though you may have relationships with your dad and all of that kind of stuff, your mother is such a like pivotal staple, a part of your development. And I'm not saying this is just exclusive to little black boys, but I just know from what I've seen in my own experience, when you feel your mom is probably the main person that you feel like you can't speak to in certain ways, especially because for the longest time, my mother had never heard my real voice.
Word.
Because
like your,
what do you mean?
Your views or like your actual?
No, like actually my real voice. Because the thing of in real, and I've done it for so long, it's natural to me now, and I'm trying to be better about it since quarantine, is that in real life, like I have a lot of bass. But anytime I would talk to her, I would never speak in my bass. Because if I did speak in my bass to her about anything, she would go, "Who you talking to like that?"
Oh, so it was like a learned thing. I got you.
Because for her, because for her, it was a tonal thing. Tonally, bass meant disrespect.
Got you.
And so
I never even thought of it.
That's a thing. Yeah, man.
That thing transferred into my adult life where I would speak to women in general and would not speak in my real voice.
Except for like during sex. I feel you.
Give me
I
that.
see what you mean.
but you know what I mean? I can get, and Marco, I'm sorry, I heard you say something, but I just wanted to.
No, I was just saying, I see what you mean, because like, not in that specific aspect, but like when you, I think is like becoming a man almost, like in that scene, it was like that. It's like, yes, people have these expectations of you, and you want to honor them because they're close to your heart, but at the same time, you are this vehicle in life. So it's like, you're gonna do what you do, and I respect you, and that's never gonna be, you know, breached or whatever. But
Right.
I still have to become and be myself, and no matter who's around me. So I think that was kind of like that too.
Yeah. So I can get that.
Yeah.
That's one aspect that I think was done well, was kind of talking about this relationship between the son who has these artistic pursuits that he thinks are what he actually cares about, and the mom who married and had a child with an artist, but didn't necessarily get the perspective that dimension of artistry was, and so wanted their child to go the more pragmatic route.
Right. People project their however you want to,
their trauma,
like their trauma onto people, you know, not knowing that they have to live their own outcomes, you know.
Right.
I can't go off of what the dad did, you know. I gotta go off of what my skills and whatever.
And so yeah, she was like, you know, you ain't make it, so you should stop. You should go the pragmatic route, because at this point you're not even where your dad was. You're not getting a big break at 40 something. In which, for jazz musicians, yeah, you could. But
yeah, true.
But Adam, were you about to say something?
I think I was. I was gonna say I didn't see the movie, but it sounds like because I'm just trying to get a gist of it. It sounds like there's this guy. I'm assuming was a jazz musician,
Mhm.
and he was pursuing this, but his mom was like, "Dude, why don't you go work at the mill or something?" And he was like, "No." Is
She
that
want she want him
She-
she wants him to keep the school
Teaching
time,
job,
which they
yeah.
just offer him full time and
Yeah,
benefits.
for the first time. Yeah.
So
Right.
she want him to go the steady route like that, but he wants to pursue his.
And as life would have it, this assumed the same day or like around the same time when he got that full-time position offer, he also ran into somebody who hooked him up with a gig, who knew
Okay.
about a gig or something that he also wanted. So he has these two options, and he has to like pull from like disappointing his mom or also disappointing himself by not going the road that he knows he actually wants to go.
But
Yeah.
you know what? I'm just thinking about this now. Like, you obviously can do those two things at the same time.
You really
I mean,
can.
you can't go travel. That's what you can't do.
But if you're just playing in the same club all the time, then
Yeah, that's what I was like.
So we just debunked that whole fucking
Yeah,
movie. Like,
in the morning, in the morning, you still have time to make that.
only thing that may be the issue is if you're in the middle of New York and you're playing this club, you're most likely playing from like 11 to 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And if you got to teach at 7:45 in the morning, unless you train your body to be able to handle that, which I doubt he did or can at this point, then yeah, that could be an issue.
Yeah. Also, like I said, I didn't see it, but just based off of what I'm hearing, like I think more than anything, it was probably more so just like the concept. Like, okay, are you gonna do the practical thing
Yeah.
or are you gonna do the art thing?
Yeah.
It was.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
But,
just nitpicking.
So you pretty much know the movie.
Yeah. But I was gonna say it sounds like that. Honestly, that sounds like a movie that will resonate to a lot of Black people and people of color because
Mhm.
you hear that a lot. And I'm not saying I know a lot of Asian people, but I just know it's a common stereotype for like Asian parents to want their kids to go to college and become lawyers and doctors and engineers and
Mhm.
and I've actually been watching the show on Netflix. It's a comedy, so I'm not saying it's like a documentary of the Asian life, but it's called Kim's Convenience. What's up?
For the piano.
Somebody
Nah,
hit a drum.
no, I hit the microphone stand.
Oh, okay.
So it's called Kim's Convenience, and it's about a Korean family in Toronto that runs a store. They have a daughter, and she's a photography student, and they're like, why are you doing this? You know, why you want to be a photographer when you can go and be a doctor, or you know? So it
Mhm.
kind of plays on that stereotype.
Yeah.
But and then I just feel like that's common amongst, like I say, a lot Black people and people of color. That's a common thing where it's like your parents want you to just go out there and do better than them.
Mm.
Get the degree, get the job. But it's like, I mean, everybody just don't want to do that though. So I think
Right.
I know, man.
that sounds like an important story to tell.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad story. The issues I have with this motherfucker
All right, now bring them on.
are the things that I'm sure people have heard. So I'm probably not saying, I'm most likely
I
not
haven't
saying,
heard any reviews of it.
why can't Black folks stay people for a whole movie? I don't get why Black folks are not allowed to stay people for a whole movie. And they were so close to at least not making him a fucking animal. Yet they still did it.
A Garfield
So-
looking cat. Yeah.
And
Sorry, Adam. Sorry.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna watch it.
I said a long time ago, Adam doesn't care about spoilers for this movie, which I probably should have asked, but I
Nah.
could just.
Man, and I don't want to sound like a, what's the word? Like when you purposely do things against the grain. What's
Contrarian.
Yeah.
A contrarian, yeah.
And for me, I'm not that, but like for me, when I see a flood of things on Facebook, I stay away from it. It's like I'm good because y'all making this.
I usually give it some time,
Yeah.
but with this,
I usually never watch stuff when
Again,
it's popular, so I
kids.
get you. Yeah, the kids.
Yeah, that helped too. But okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, you good. So those are two big things. Is like, can Black folks just be people for the whole time? You do not have to anthropomorphize Black folks all the time.
Oh, that's where the word comes in.
Yes.
I like how you did that.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Low
Point bonus.
continuity. Yeah.
Little
Seamless
360.
editing up.
But and not to get all photopian and whatnot, but
Yeah.
all the promos made it kind of seem like the movie was about him. And the movie is halfway about him and kind of way too much about Tina Fey's character 22.
Yeah, I didn't expect that it was like a second. I mean, it's a secondary story, but it kind of was like half and half. Like I didn't know.
Right.
It was like it was about that.
I didn't realize a white woman was a part of the story.
But also they kind
that's what I'm saying.
But also it was not really. It was like they even touched on it in the movie, like about the voices.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they used her because she's famous, but they said like I'll just use his voice because it's most annoying. But they kind of hit on that. Probably just to address people who thought like, you know, what you
and like, wait a minute, hold on. Did you bamboozle us into thinking this was about a black man and you still found a way to make a white woman the center of attention? Because the thing on top of that was, he was a person for barely longer than Chris Brown was alive and Stomp the Yard. But you still found a way to not only make him an animal and some other thing besides a person, but then you take Tina Fey's character and put her in the black man's body to learn the lessons that apparently he wasn't smart enough to learn for his life. So you're saying that from the perspective of this entity that is voiced by a white woman, but we're supposed to not believe is a white woman, can figure out life better than a black man in his own experience.
But also he's the one who showed her, you know.
Yeah.
At the end, they pretty much said like, you taught us something here.
You showed me how to want to live a life. But I'm also like, come on, man. This is
from now on, I'm going into movies with my side, and I'm definitely going in with a little bit of Josh's. I'm coming with some shit next episode, son. I'm coming with some shit. I promise.
Because I want to just enjoy the movie, but I'm also like, this is you can't. Only because of the history of what these images have been, I can't help but look at it like this.
Got you.
In the sense of if you think of all Disney Pixar, you think of all black characters, black possible. People just can't be people. Hell, Tarzan, shout out to Phil Collins, amazing soundtrack. Tarzan is in Africa. Not a nigga in sight.
That's true. That's true, man.
And so I'm like,
that one I'll give you for sure. that one for sure.
No,
Zero excuses for that.
A lot of that stuff, especially old animation.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of racist undertones.
Even like how like Mickey Mouse originally was, shit like that.
Sure. Mm-hmm. But
I think don't quote me.
Yeah, I mean, it's plenty of shit like that. The magpie ass birds from Dumbo. I seen a butterfly. All of that shit. Clearly just making fun of Negroes. But I just want that more than anything, and that's how they promoted it. Even though they did say, he's going to be a ghost, we're not going to make it seem like that. But they did not indicate that he was going to be an animal. So that was a bit of a cheap shot to me.
It was a lot of spiritual stuff in this movie that I would have to watch it again, like because I mean, this stuff is not everybody don't feel the same way about the spiritual world and afterlife. And they took it upon themselves to make a whole world of that. So I'll kind of have to watch it like really intently to kind of see what they
catch all
And
the
maybe
subtle stuff.
and maybe it was no even direction for that. It was more so about what they was trying to convey.
Yeah.
But it is always interesting to see, especially in a mainstream. This is a like huge movie, so it's kind of I would like to go into how they was thinking. Like it was like spirit guides and.
Well, I heard a lot of those concepts and imagery came from Burning Man.
Like in California,
You mean the
Burning Man
Like
festival?
the festival of Burning Man.
Yeah.
So like the boat in the desert, the idol or whatever, the meditation to be able to go between the isolated place and the spirit world. Like I heard a lot of that has to do, like a lot of that is from Burning Man.
Didn't know that. Okay.
Know
that.
Oh, one of the gripes that I forgot to bring up, the straight edge dude who figured out that Jamie Foxx was missing. He traumatized that black man from the barbershop, and then they just left him like that.
He did like try to, what did he say?
Because he thought he was catching Jamie Foxx, and then he caught him, and then just left him all fucked up, and then they never addressed it again.
Okay, so you're talking about the dude who seemed like he was a hater. It seemed like he was hating on Jamie Foxx for a second.
Yeah,
because he was roasting him in the beginning.
He was roasting him, yeah.
And I think that was just like, oh, that's his get back. You know, they didn't.
That's
come
what I
back
thought.
to him at all.
I like that. There you go. It was just funny having Donnell Rollins as his like barber.
His bar.
Hearing
I don't
that
know
voice
why
is so funny.
It did not add up to me. I was
that
like,
dude's voice is so funny, man.
You're too big for this high ass voice like Donnell Rollins.
That dude was bulky. He was, man.
I wasn't. What's crazy is I didn't go in this movie I didn't think any about the voices at all. And it took me, even though I had already heard about that being Jamie Foxx before, I kind of forgot about it going in.
Okay.
It took me like half of the movie to be like, oh, you know, I can hear him now. And I didn't really hear any of the characters at all.
Really? Okay.
I wasn't even thinking about it. I don't know.
Yeah,
he was just so engrossed.
The student that got the gig was Questlove. I think the mom, Angela Bassett. I forgot who played the woman that the gig.
The jazz player.
I
forgot her name.
It's right there. It's not coming to me. But yeah, like it was.
And usually I try to do that. Like, oh, that's a familiar voice. That's,
try to match it. She was wrapped up in the story.
You know how you do. That's
yeah. Yeah.
Word. Y'all seen anything else good that y'all like advocating for? Like, go watch that shit.
I think I don't know if I mentioned this already in the last season. But Black Monday with Don Cheadle.
I've heard good things.
Was a great show, man. Great show. It's about the stock market. It's just about like Wall Street, and Black Monday was apparently the worst day in stock market, like Wall Street history. And they showed how things led up to that with just so much con artistry and people backstabbing and all this and that and the hysteria that comes along with that all played a part in this Black Monday experience. Some crazy shit, but it's dope. And last night I actually rewatched Miles Ahead with Miles Davis Davis with Don Cheadle. I love that fucking movie, man. Damn.
I still haven't seen it.
Man, I thought it could be. I liked him. I like Don Cheadle in it.
That's what it is, really. I just like that he just led the whole movie. Yeah.
But I think it could have been better, like as far as the actual story of it. But the performance of it was
that's
good.
what I'm saying. Yeah, that's
I think it's something
also
because I saw the promos, but I never heard anybody talk about it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it could have been a better movie.
No, the first time I watched it was on like Redbox or something. I think so. I didn't really know. I didn't even know that it was in the theaters.
I had to buy that on Prime.
Word.
Got you.
Mark, are you saying?
What? Dang. Oh, it was another period piece that was about the the Olympic bomber, and around that time,
Oh yeah,
Atlanta in '96.
yeah,
It was called like Manhunt.
yeah.
I don't know if y'all saw that, but it was
I saw that. It's great.
it reminded me of the what happened the other day because it's like a Matilda that in it. You just gotta see it. But it was interesting. It was about how they were the FBI was trying to find who really did it. Well, actually they weren't trying to find who did it. They were just trying to get somebody arrested basically
Yeah,
to
scapegoat.
make it go away, right? Because they pretty much wanted the Olympic Games to be held or whatever, but that was the year that it was no fans or whatever. But it was just it went beyond that story and went into like a racial thing and a law thing, which made it pretty interesting. Also, I don't know if y'all saw Chadwick Boseman's last movie.
Ma Rainey?
Yeah, I checked that out. It was
great
super dope.
Yeah,
super dope.
It's great.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's called what again?
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis playing Ma Rainey.
I believe Denzel has something to do with the production of it. It was actually shot. I'm pretty sure it's a theater play.
Yeah, it's a August Wilson play.
Right. August Wilson collaborated with it's his play, and Denzel Washington collaborated with him to make the movie, and it was shot very much like a play too. The scenes were
there's only like everybody's got a monologue, and I think there's only like 2-3 sets.
Yeah, but Chadwick, he did his thing, man, for real.
Yeah, he did.
All of them did, really. It wasn't. How can I guess the movie wasn't like an amazing overall movie. I don't know how to put it. Like, I don't know.
But it left with you. It left you with something.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it was a good movie. It was a new kind of thing for me as far as how it was shot and but I believe it worked. It just off the pure strength of the actors,
Yeah.
But y'all should check that out.
Word, okay.
It was basically commenting on the struggles of Black artists at the time and the dysfunction of the industry even back then. Well, obviously at its height of dysfunction, since they didn't have proper treatments or rights. They was just we all know where majority of the music comes from. And it lets you see how and why, not necessarily why, but how they had a grasp on the industry, and kind of we still trying to get out of that. So it shows that.
Great performance by Chadwick. It's one of those things where I feel you, Marcus. It's a very different experience when you see a filmed play and when you see a play portrayed as a film.
Yeah.
And so it's evident that this is a play because of how it's written, because of how it's being acted.
But they obviously did it on purpose. I mean,
of course, because it's just like, did you see Fences?
No.
Yeah, I saw that.
I haven't.
So Fences is also an August Wilson play.
I remember hearing about that one.
Denzel again.
Because in the latest version, Denzel plays the dad, but as a kid, Denzel played the son, and James Earl Jones played the dad.
In the actual play.
In the actual play.
Yeah. And
so Denzel, I think, might have some kind of connection to the estate at this point. But personally, it was in that as well. Yeah. I personally think this was better than Fences.
Okay.
But it's also because I didn't particularly care for Denzel's performance in Fences. I thought the rest of the cast was pretty strong, but I didn't care for his. And it's just a really good story with a very wild ending.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to check that out.
But I think, like I said, I think that spoke to the dysfunction of well, for one, they were living in racist times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to give it away, but he did some wild stuff, and it was, I believe, he had some problems, but it was showing like the things that he went through and the things that they were going through, you know, is a reason why, you know, violence and stuff, basically the dysfunction of his life into that point was like he never had coping mechanisms or
Right.
anyone to, you see, when he went on this rant and he told his story, they just, you know, they was like, oh man, like what can you say after that? Like the things that they go through during that time, it was no therapist, it was no culture of mental health and all that.
Right.
So it just showed the dysfunction of that time in the music industry at the time.
Yo, I got a random question for y'all.
Shoot.
Well, I guess two maybe. One, when's the last time you rode a bike? You just jumped on a bike and cruised. And
last year.
And when's the last and the second one is
answer.
Did you guys know how expensive fucking bicycles can be? I mean, they can get up to like $10,000. That shit is crazy to me,
like,
man.
Real bikes, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm just, everything gets lighter and just like, I'm like, geez. And just imagine the labor just to get something fixed on a $10,000 bike. It's crazy, man.
Get them special tires that don't splash when you go through puddles.
Yeah.
Like, they can handle potholes. Yeah. Last time I rode a bike, couldn't tell you. In real life, it might have been, y'all remember that random day y'all were out here and we were skating, but one of us had to be on the bike? I think it was you, Marcus. Like we had
I think it was me. It was me.
Oh, it was Aaron.
I went in it for the day. I remember that shit.
Yeah, that divvy bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it was such a great, it was like $7 for the day. That was amazing, man.
Yeah, I rode a divvy bike a few times before. It's dope.
But that might have been the last time, and that was
years ago.
Yeah,
years ago.
That's like 2014.
And I didn't even think about disinfecting it at the time, but now I would not.
Yeah,
I don't think I would touch it without having some sprays or
that Lysol wipe.
We all have to take turns going down that slope, that hill. Because I was on the bike, I had to borrow somebody's.
It was like that. It was like a tunnel that goes under like Lakeshore Drive. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Like toward the beach. Yeah.
Dude, and I just barely made it. I just barely clipped somebody's pedal, and Josh looked at it, yo, turn. He's coming.
As far as the closest thing I think I've ridden to a bike was renting a moped scooter while I was in Thailand last year, 2 years ago, however long ago that was. Which I don't know if I brought this up before. Relearning that shit, very difficult.
That's one regret I wish that I had when I was in Bali. I wish I would have jumped on the moped with everybody else. Okay.
I broke the back door of my hotel because I ran into it. And surprisingly, they did not charge me for it, and I was really expecting them to. And part of my like American privilege was like something like $4. Yeah, put it on my tab. But
also in America, they would have definitely charged you like $400.
$400. But since I was in Thailand, I was like, a screen door is like $5. Yeah, put it on my tab.
Yeah, dude. Because everything is like 2 million or 4 million over there.
But yeah, so the hardest thing about that was there was no parking lot to practice in, really. It's there, but you can kind of just got to go back and forth. until you're on now the highway. Like there's no
literally, yeah.
There's barely any residential streets. You're just on the highway as soon as you leave the hotel. And
Very
so that
risk.
shit was fucking terrifying.
High
But
risk.
yeah, go ahead, Adam.
I was gonna say, like, before I went to Thailand, I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna rent a moped or scooter or whatever. Like, this is gonna be fun. And I got there and saw the traffic. I'm like, I will walk. I'm good.
That's what I
take the
said, dude.
train.
I saw a fucking, like, this kid must have been 7 or 8 years old backing into that crazy traffic. I said, I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch. This is dude. And
once you're
but I
in
was
it,
like,
you're fine.
damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that was the first time I really had to drive on the other side of the road too.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. Yeah,
I drove a car over there, but I was like, I'm not being exposed to the elements.
Yo,
This traffic.
when it's just you, and the thing is, there are cars. There are more bikes, but there are cars.
Oh,
Yeah.
you see
And
the-
the-
man.
And the rest of the bikes look at you like a bitch. If you're not bobbing and weaving through traffic, especially when
they pull up on the sidewalk. Yo, they go from the motherfucking highway to the sidewalk in the same speed while we're walking.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? And they look at you like you're crazy, like you don't know what the hell's going on.
my dude, between the car and the curb is just enough. It's this much space between your tire and the curb.
So
And they're like, why aren't you moving forward?
Yo, and the only accidents I saw happen while we were in Indonesia were people who weren't from there. Every time.
I
so
saw
how do y'all think a expert Chicago cyclist would fare? Because they pretty hardcore too.
In Atlanta here too, bro. I feel you. They just,
I mean, I guess
Take the top cyclists from Chicago and New York. That's a show. I got a show.
that
a
is.
show idea.
I think
I mean,
regular bikes versus motorized bikes is different.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
True. But like that's actually part of why I was asked the question, because I was gonna say like knowing like you guys' feelings or comfort level on bikes. How do you feel about like actually riding like a bicycle in the midst of traffic, like in Chicago or New York or Atlanta or something?
After Thailand, I'm like, Chicago ain't shit.
Because I mean, we all skated there, but like there's bike lanes and shit. But like I see a lot of people like at a light being the first one there with cars behind them.
I don't think it's logical, even though I don't think I'm necessarily scared of that experience. But maybe I would be if I did it. But I just
because you have to obey the rules like you're a car.
Yeah, you got to act like a car. And I don't think I think it just makes sense to be on the sidewalk, even though that's illegal.
Are you talking about like regular bike, or you talking about motorized bike?
Like regular bike.
Motorized? You talking about regular bike, right?
I'm talking about regular bike. Because I just bought one the other day, and it was like I just had to,
I don't know if I'm feeling
$600 something.
Drive, you see how them taxis drive and how people just don't give a F about you. Like, I don't think I would want to, unless I'm in a foreign country, like y'all said, like, I have to. But I think a lot of them people are trying to make some type of point, like, yes, this is lawful for me to do this, so I'm gonna do this.
My big fear with bikes is always parking next to a bike lane and
oh my God,
and the door opening. And I have that when I'm skating too. But I'm like, people just be like, might be in a rush, they're not paying attention, and that door just fucking swings open like right when you're right there. There's nothing you can do.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, because of that, bro, because I've heard of that happening enough times here, I always I know specific areas when I'm making that right turn. I mean, like not even being parked, but I've seen it happen otherwise when you're making that right turn and you don't look, and there's that bicycle coming up, and you clip them and shit. I'm like weary of that now. Like Atlanta's becoming much more of a bike city. Not that I knew much about it when I came here, but within the last 4 years, I'm seeing more streets with bicycle lanes and shit. So I'm becoming more weary. But I've heard it, bro, getting clipped from park doors, man.
Yo, I got a question for y'all. So I'm assuming that y'all have had your bike stolen as a youth.
So
I'm not even going to ask.
Surprisingly, I never did.
Damn.
And I got a story too.
So you asked like when the last time we rode a bike. So I actually got a bike last year and rode it maybe 2 times before I got my bike stolen as a full-fledged adult. I just don't know if it's meant to be, man.
Well, not, and that's part of what I was saying. That's actually, you bring up a good point, because as the bikes get more expensive, I'm like $1,000 bike. You steal that shit, I'm gonna have a much more of a problem with it than some shit I got at Walmart, bro.
You gotta protect
that starter
that
bike. That starter bike. You know what I'm saying?
And mine goose.
Mongoose,
bro, which I thought was the shit, son. I put some pegs on the back. I thought it was the shit. I was the first Uber. I was carrying motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
That was probably my last accident. Was riding on back of Adam's bike down that hill. We crashed.
That's
but no, what was it? My uncle used to ride bikes up in Buffalo, and so he had a couple real bikes. I think his was like 3,000. I think the one I was riding was like somewhere between 750 and 1,000. My brother had one that was between 750 and 1,000. And I think something happened where like my foot got stuck and I like kind of fell over. And he was like, "Be careful with my fucking bike." And I was like, "Excuse me, sir. My life was in danger. Your bike." No.
Yo, it's crazy, man. Like, I got one just because I got enough buddies out here who bike a lot, and I'm trying to not just be a little more eco-friendly, but also that's a good source of exercise.
That $10,000 joint?
Nah, you crazy. I need a bigger stimmy. I need a bigger stimmy than 600 to get that 10,000 down.
$10,000 bike. That bike better drive itself.
Right.
Mine was like 650, but it's cool because I got it from REI, and I wanted like a co-op one, like a hybrid, so you can ride it on trails and stuff, but also like a road bike for the city. And they give you like REI gives you 10% off all the labor if you like get it from them. And that shit can be expensive sometimes. Like the labor, they cost just as much as a damn part sometimes.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. But there's like really cool trails here. Like there's one called the Silver Comet Trail, and it's like a 70 or 80 mile trail, and it takes you all the way to Alabama. And people can really just like see how, like, people use that as like NASCAR to see how fast they can go because it's not heavily populated. So if you're a professional, you could just fucking fly on that thing. But
wow,
just trying to do, it's a relatively free thing to do. You
wind up on the West Coast.
Yeah, man.
I want to jump back to the previous conversation real quick about TV shows, movies, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I've recently got into The Boys on Amazon.
Oh, I
heard of it.
Very, very decent show. It's pretty much about that side of superheroes that kind of never gets talked about, where they're kind of the antagonists of the show. Because they always, cause so much collateral damage and casualties, but they get away with it because they're heroes.
Yeah.
And so like the whole premise of the show starts out with this dude who's like, he just got off work. His girlfriend is taking them out or whatever. And so they're about to go get food. Excuse me. And then he's like, I love you. She says, I love you. She takes a step into the street, and then a speedster runs through her and makes her explode.
Flash.
Damn.
Like a Flash type dude like runs through her, makes her explode, and like all he sees is like he's holding her, and then a splatter of blood hits his face. And then the whole show kind of like bellows out from there.
Yeah.
It's a really good show.
I saw that and I was like, let me see what this is about. And then when I saw that scene, I was like, okay, this is gonna be like, this is my, because I watch the superhero stuff, the PG-13 stuff, but I like the R-rated stuff, man. I need the gore.
That's why you gotta watch the realism.
Yeah, you wanted to go more real. Yeah, I agree, man.
But I'm gonna say this.
I was just say, is it only on Amazon, or have you seen it?
Yeah,
on anything?
Amazon makes it. So
okay, gotcha.
I was gonna say I got 2 shows that I gotta recommend. Well, actually 3, but Marcus already mentioned one. I think it's called like Manhunt Bomber.
Something. Manhunt. Something games. Dangerous games.
Yeah.
Like I said, the dank games. It's like about weed.
So that show's pretty good. I just recently watched this one show called I don't even know how to pronounce it, but I think it's called Jiri Haji. It's like a Japanese / English show. Like it takes place in Japan and the UK in London. It's only one season, but it got canceled, even though it had 100% Rotten Tomatoes review.
I think I saw you mention something about that.
Wow.
Yeah. And I read about like why they canceled it was because they wanted to make room for more shows. Like, but if this is a new show,
Yeah.
Right.
This is what you want. You got the new show, the good ratings, but we know how they do shows when it's when a lead is not a white guy. So the two leads is a Japanese man and a Irish woman. So, but regardless of that, I still recommend it because the way that the season is written, you can watch the one season and be satisfied because it's almost like a miniseries at that point.
And that's on what?
It's on Netflix. And just to give you a super brief, just what it's about, because like what the heck is it about? So it's about this police detective in Tokyo that they're the Yakuza and the police are trying to find his brother because they believe his brother is part of the Yakuza or whatever, and he flees the city and ends up in London. So they send the Yakuza and the police essentially send this detective to go, hey, you got to bring your brother back because he did some stuff and we need him back. So he got to go to London and try to find his brother. And there's a lot of conflict, and obviously, you're a cop, my brother's a gangbanger essentially, and there's like that conflict. So it's just different. I've never really seen a show like that where it's like just the way it's the story. It's just like because we've seen the cop shows and they're kind of all the same. It's just a different like take. So it was pretty cool. And then the other show I gotta look on Netflix was the Queen's Gambit.
Oh my God, I saw that one. I love that show, bro.
Yeah, I haven't finished it yet, but I got like one episode left. It's good.
It just reminds me of I like those Beautiful Mind type shows and movies. It reminds me, and like the soundtrack, the score for it is dope too.
Yeah, and that show is just about a queen, not a queen. It's about a chess prodigy. And she goes around the world and plays tournaments, which doesn't sound interesting, but it's an interesting show when you watch it.
Yeah, there's a couple I forgot to mention too. It's funny because you said that doesn't sound interesting, and part of me is like, no, it doesn't sound interesting. but I know a lot of people kind of live and swear by it. Cobra Kai season 3, haven't finished it, but Cobra Kai is a great show. Even though Great Value, Sean Hunter's face kind of bothers me.
Great Value.
It's
not even the Whole Foods brand. We got him loaded. We got him loaded to 365 with that Kirkland.
What is it? You brought up a Japanese show. If you like zombie shows, there's a Chinese show called Kingdom.
I heard about that.
Really, really good.
I think that's Korean. Is it Korean?
Korean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
My bad then.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very good.
I heard that was good.
And it was one more. Oh, you'll be proud of me. I've finally been watching Fargo.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
First season, you saw the
Forgot
first
about
season?
that.
I'm midway through season 3. This is my least favorite season so far.
Oh, yeah. You ain't just started.
Huh?
So I guess you could have just started and just been binging.
Yeah. It's been it was over throughout the break.
Okay.
And
season 3 is my least favorite too.
And Chris Rock is going to be in season 4.
Yeah, which I'm
apparently so.
Which I'm excited to I'm looking forward to. But the first 2 seasons were pretty great.
Yeah.
Like, I love.
What's the guy's name? Martin Freeman, the dude from
Breaking Bad, Black Panther.
The agent, the FBI, the white guy.
Oh, that is him. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I do, man. He's
yes.
I've
he
never
was the
seen
main dude in season 1, right?
Yeah, I've never seen anything with him in it that wasn't good because he's in Sherlock as well.
Oh
and
yes,
he's just good in everything, man.
I think he's in Lord of the Rings too.
Yeah, he's Baggins. Bill Baggins.
Yeah.
He did his wife like that,
right.
Man.
That was grimy, son. Grimy.
Hey, I've been watching HBO Max, dude.
Yeah.
They coming up, man. They got
what you watching on there?
They got this show called Raised by Wolves.
Okay.
I think there's only one season. Yeah, there's only one season so far, but I just started watching that. It's pretty good, man.
Lovecraft Country was excellent.
Oh yeah,
I heard a lot about that. I haven't watched it. Yeah, like
And this is on HBO. It's a show called
HBO.
Kidding by Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah.
It's really
I
good.
think that's on Prime.
It might be on. It's on Prime. I think it started out on like HBO or Showtime. I think it was HBO.
But I know
it's a great show, man.
Also, since I'm like a DC guy, they like HBO has DC, so they coming out with a bunch of stuff, and they got all the old stuff. So
I'm just gonna troll and say Wonder Woman was horrible because it was.
This is a slight spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Wonder Woman 1984 and are planning on it, skip to the 1 hour, 37 minute, 10-second mark.
I haven't even seen it.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen it, man.
That's disappointing.
I just said it was okay.
Yeah, the first one was good.
I don't know. I don't like the way they did Cheetah. I don't like that.
It was
suit.
just so.
I don't. They was trying to spam the 80s.
We talking about Cheetah from
the villain, like the Cheetah villain.
Yeah, from DC.
From DC.
Oh, word. Yeah.
She was supposed to be a beast, not a
frail
cat. Like I don't know, man.
They poorly did.
It could have been way better.
I'm not gonna act like I had like I'm the first one to say this thought, but it is a thought I had. So shout out to anybody who's ever mentioned this before. In case you listen to other podcasts that mentioned it. Why did they make sure in both Wonder Womans that the dude, Chris Pine, is the hero of the movie?
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that in the first one, where he kind of saves the day.
He saves the day in both of them. Technically,
yeah.
He died. He committed suicide in the first one, and then the second one, he gets brought back to life to commit suicide again to help her to get over this hurdle. So I'm like,
man, I'm surprised feminists haven't spoke up about that, unless they have. But
yeah,
you know what you got to do.
Yeah,
so they always end up saying stuff like,
yeah. For me, if Gal Gadot or Godot or whatever is in the movie, she got to win. Yeah, she got to win everything. For me,
I don't know what it is. I don't like her. I want to, part of me, and even excusing the Palestinian army shit. I want to like her. We probably gonna get in trouble for me saying that, but oh well.
Yeah, I definitely had something that was inappropriate to say afterwards.
And DC gotta figure something out with they live movies. They gotta get it right. I don't understand what they're doing.
They need to let Zack Snyder stop having hands and shit.
Something need to change drastically. I mean, to me, I don't know what they're doing with Batman at this point.
Trying to get Pattinson to look like a real person.
The past ones were decent. Aquaman was good to me, but
Aquaman is decent. It was too long.
Other ones gotta do something, man.
Yeah, I actually like the first movie that she was in. Gal Gadot,
the first one,
Wonder Woman. I thought it was decent. I thought it was good.
It was okay. I don't like that they villains is not up to par. Like Ares was not dope.
Easily forgettable.
Cheetah was not dope to me. What was the other villain? Max Lord was decent in this Wonder Woman. It was the villain, one of the villains.
Pedro did his thing, but it was still overacted, which I expect better from him most of the time.
It felt like a 90s movie to me. The way it was, it was set in the 80s and they really spammed, of course if it's set in the 80s, they're gonna have all the cool 80s stuff and do the 80s thing.
How do white folks love the 80s so much?
I don't know.
Synth
hairbands and cocaine.
I'm like, yo, the 80s
I like a little bit of the fashion in the 80s.
Yeah, they touched
bright
on
colors.
that too. The mall, The mall.
The mall.
The mall. The mall is here. The food court.
Yo, anything that sounds like the soundtrack from the Drive movie is okay with me.
Hey, that's my music. Though,
It's
man.
okay with me, man.
That's my music.
That's kind of 80s-ish, right?
Yeah.
80s, yeah.
But
Kind of.
that seems like a good place for
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's the first and the last one. Season 2, first and last one.
That seems like a good place to wrap up. Y'all, we want to thank you for joining us for another episode of the InforMILLy Honest podcast. I'm so glad to see y'all, man. I missed you.
Same
Much
here,
love.
Ditto,
man. Ain't seen
man.
y'all since last year.
Man. It's been it's always fun. It's always great to reconnect. And by all means, as always, write us. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you feel. Adam be slaving. Poor choice of words. He be indoctrinated servitude and indentured servitude. I said indoctrinated. Indentured servitude.
Yo, it's
that's deep, though.
Some sayings we be
Hey,
talking
that's
about,
a deep
man.
thing. Hey, somebody gonna steal that.
You gotta add that one to the list.
See what the black man trying to do is get out of indoctrinated servitude.
he be doing all this work on these clips for y'all to not press that goddamn share button. So if you can
hit the
I just
shit.
gotta say that like my girl be clowning me sometimes because like I'll rewatch or like just re-listen to the episode and be laughing as hard as I was like during for 2 hours, for 2-3
When I
hours.
watch
Every
it,
time I
actually-
laughed this hard, man.
I laugh hard. Like I catch everything when I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like it's from a different perspective almost. Like
Yeah.
I
It's almost
kind of
outside.
I don't remember what I said. I don't
Ever.
kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
kind of
I love hearing myself say something awesome and then like laugh. Like,
but also I think like, damn, I could have said this.
I
I
see.
think it's
Oh,
better.
Mm-hmm.
me
All the
too.
time.
I
That's
hate
just
when
me.
that happens.
That's my everyday life, honestly.
Yeah, I do that too. Like,
Why didn't
damn,
I say
this would have been better to say this.
One of these days we're gonna like actually do work and research responses to put toward things. But till that day, we want to thank y'all for listening again. If you want to write in topics, you want to give us your feedback because we welcome all of that shit. Please write us. You can follow us Instagram InforMILLy Honest, Facebook InforMILLy Honest Podcast. Someday we're gonna have a Twitter.
Yes, indeed.
Might even do a TikTok. We're not even gonna make videos. We're just gonna,
Cash
put up
App?
clips and shit.
Hit our Cash App up.
Hit our Cash App if you want to make donations. Shout out to Aaron's sister who did send some money not too long ago. Love you for that.
Oh, dope.
God
I
bless
should have known about that.
Lovely
Actually,
Colette.
Yo, she's actually coming over for dinner tonight, so
well,
I'll make sure to
give her love.
no doubt.
Cash
Pour a
App
glass of
is
wine.
whatever they call the $sign InforMILLy Honest on Cash App. And by all means, write us at InforMILLy Honest Podcast at gmail.com. Last thoughts, fellas.
Shout out
It
to
feels
Cash
so
App.
good to be back.
Scrutinize every word.
Every line.
Oh yeah, I went on an Eminem like binge
Okay.
over
Nice.
the break, and I was just like, you got to be crazy to think he's not in the top something.
Are you talking about that beef between him and Snoop?
I wouldn't even.
Don't
I was-
start
I was-
now towards the end of this podcast. Don't do that to me.
We can
Don't
talk
do
about
to
that
me,
next.
man.
We can talk about that next
We
episode.
can
But
talk about that.
I wasn't even about to go there, but that is a good segue into that.
Next
If we
time,
were
we're
going
going
there.
honest.
What are our views? You'll find out. Tune in.
Maybe we should start doing that, Adam. But previously on InforMILLy Honest, you know how P sits in the dick, and
Oh yeah,
Yo,
have some
Big
funny
idea.
moments.
I think that's a
Yes.
great idea, bro.
Don't none of y'all steal that. That's a great idea.
I was listening to the Lupe and Royce show, and
Yeah, I
they
was
were
just about to
actually
say
doing
that.
that. I was like, damn,
Oh, they do that?
That shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did that. Man.
Mhm.
I still haven't, as much as I love to hear them both talk, I still haven't checked them out.
Shout out-
It's surprisingly funny. I had no idea Lupe Fiasco was that funny.
Lupe
Even though
is
I follow him on Instagram and stuff.
But he a troll though.
He's
man.
a troll. He's such a troll.
Man, he always been a troll, but now is like. But a troll is a skill though. Troll is a skill.
Yeah. Shout out to Lou, Royce, and Tom.
Yeah,
maybe
Tom, the regular guy, just the regular guy.
just friend of theirs to help do the producing. Yes, if you want to be a part of the conversation, we invite you. Write us in. If you want to make a video, we'll feature a video on here of you asking whatever question you want to pose as a topic. Whatever it is, you just want to tell us we're great. You want to tell us we're good. You want to tell us we suck. Whatever it is, write us. Create some traction on that Instagram page so, motherfuckers can hear about us. All right.
You can even come on the show.
You can come on. We will invite you on the show. We're going to have guests this season.
Yeah.
Right? People who are doing
Instagram lives coming.
People who are doing great shit. We having conversations. We trying to grow this community.
We're going to have a pizza party. That's an inside joke, man.
Shout out to Sarah Gibbons. Danica Achievement Center.
One of the
I wasn't even there, and that shit was funny. I wasn't even there.
Shout out to Nobel too. No disrespect. And by all means, whenever you have a conversation and engaging with anyone in your life, we hope that you will always pride any connection you make in those three principles: being forthright, forthright, and most of all, honest. Peace, y'all.
Peace out.
Peace, y'all.
Correction,
Thanks
I did see one of Lupe's.
And since they lied to my brother, I'll teach the truth to my brother.